Hey friends, welcome to another episode of A Reader and a Cinephile. And just like that, it is June. With 6 months of the calendar mostly in the rearview mirror, I thought this might be a great opportunity to pause and discuss the 5 best books and movies of the year so far for me. As a personal exercise, shaping this list was a lot of fun. I'm also wondering how many of these books and films will be on my end of the year list, but that's a different discussion. So, first up, let's discuss the 5 best books I've read so far this year. Number 1, A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. One of the internet's most divisive books is the best thing I have read this year. Sure, A Little Life can feel torturous at times, and if I hadn't spent years working for a nonprofit focused on mental health, I might feel like this book has no redeeming qualities. But my personal and professional journey has had me cross paths with unimaginable trauma. It was these people and their stories who were on my mind while I read this book. For the first time, the weight of their truth felt real to me. So while this book broke my heart, I still found myself thankful for the journey. Number 2, Catch and Kill by Ronan Farrow. I've said it before, and if you stick around long enough, you'll hear me say it again. I'm a sucker for a great story focused on journalism. This book focuses its attention on Harvey Weinstein and his vile behavior toward women, and the journey to expose the truth. From beginning to end, Farrow gives a full encapsulation of the necessary and frustrating path his investigation took, the pitfalls, dead ends, and wins, to the fallout of exposing the truth. I found this book enthralling and captivating. Number 3, Poverty by America by Matthew Desmond. I've worked in the homelessness and housing justice space for most of my adult life. I've worked alongside homeless teenage mothers, worked to house chronically homeless individuals on Skid Row, helped create a safe space for unhoused neighbors to find some refuge, and now I work to bring more affordable housing to the Pacific Northwest. Throughout this journey, I have asked myself this question often: how can this be the reality for so many of my fellow citizens in the wealthiest country in the world? Now, Poverty by America doesn't have all the answers, but I still found it to be an eye-opening read, and a read that I will be thinking about for a very, very long time. Number 4, The Planets by Brian Cox. As some of my fellow human beings traveled further away from Earth, further than any other human being has ever traveled, like lots of you, I found myself looking up at the heavens with a sense of wonder. I find our solar system, galaxy, and universe to be endlessly fascinating. While astronauts circled the backside of the moon, I turned from the heavens to a book about the planets in our solar system. I learned so many things in The Planets by Brian Cox, and for a brief moment, my curiosity was satisfied, at least until the next major event forces my eyes skyward. Number 5, The Worst Hard Time by Timothy Egan. Growing up in Oklahoma, my grandmother would often share stories about the Dust Bowl and Great Depression. I found her stories captivating. She was an amazing storyteller who planted a seed that germinated for decades, and that seed led me to The Worst Hard Time, which serves as a deep dive into the characters, places, and land shaped by drought, depression, and loss of humanity. If you have ever wanted to dive deeper into this period of our history, I cannot recommend this book enough. Now, let's talk about the 5 best movies I have watched this year. Up first, and number 1, Project Hail Mary. 6 months in, Project Hail Mary stands as my favorite film of the year. The film is a beautiful mixture of heart and humor. Months later, I still find myself thinking about the friendship between Rocky and Ryland Grace. I still find myself lingering on the completely full theater where I watched this movie. This movie felt like a moment in time in my cinematic life that I will not easily forget, and a moment I already find myself ready to experience again. Number two, the drama. The first half of the drama feels a bit uneven, and then the conflict that defines the rest of the film is revealed. From that moment on, this is an entirely different movie in which anything seems possible. And goodness, the journey we go on is winding, it is fraught, and it kept me hooked until the very end. The more I think about this film, the more I dig its bravery. If you haven't seen it yet, I recommend you give it a chance. Number three, The Incomer. I saw The Incomer at Sundance this year. When it was over, I found myself staring at the credits of a new favorite comedy. It has been a long time since I laughed this hard at a movie. As someone who is constantly longing for this feeling in a cinema, I found this film to be a breath of fresh air and reassuring. Those who make movies can still make them funny. Number four, The Invite. Olivia Wilde's The Invite was the closing night film for this year's Seattle International Film Festival, and it left me floored. Its concept is simple. A couple whose marriage is on thin ice invites their upstairs neighbors over for a dinner party. From that simple invitation, the night goes into some unexpected places. What floored me about this film was the dialogue, the humor, the direction, and its setting. Taken together, they make a mighty combination in a film I am begging you to see when it is released in July. Number five, The Ascent. The Ascent is the inspiring story of bilateral amputee Mandy Horvath's attempt to crawl to the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro. But this documentary is more than another nature film. It is part true crime story and part woman defying the odds. Mixed together, you get a film that left me in awe, inspired, and deeply moved. If you have ever doubted yourself or felt like the world was out to get you, I implore you to give this documentary a chance. On the other side of this thing is a brand new perspective. And those are the five best books and films of the year so far for me. Who knows what the next 6 months will hold? Of the books and films listed here, I cannot wait to see what makes it to my final list in December. While we work toward that destination, I would love to hear about the books and films that have left an impression on you so far this year. While you're giving that some thought, be sure to follow along by subscribing or hitting that follow button. Until next time, be good to each other.